And we'll start with our May sky report. So time to figure out what to go see during the month of May.
That's right.
At what crazy hour?
Well, this time you can start even right as the sun sets. And if you look off to the west, you can see the planet Venus, which is the brightest of all the planets. Actually, if you look before the sky gets totally dark around 8 o'clock, look about a third of the way up from the west-northwest, in other words, a little to the right of Venus, but about a third as high as Venus in the sky, you can also spot planet Mercury, which is a rarer sight, but we'll actually be able to see it the early part of this week. It will remain about as high, but it will start fading rather quickly by midweek. So catch it early if you can. This is what Mercury looked like recently through an amateur telescope, where they can combine lots of video images and then computer process to try to bring out bits of detail. Also, Venus responds well to that treatment. You can actually see patterns of clouds and other things. To your eye, it really looks blank white, though. It doesn't really show a lot of detail, but we do see the phase. And we are showing Mercury and Venus, especially with our lawn telescopes, as soon as it gets dark now. Jupiter is high almost overhead as soon as it gets dark, and you can watch it until it sets about 2 in the morning. And here's a view of the red spot. And also these continuing things with the moons. If you watch, you saw 2 moons cross in front of each other, and this moon will fade out in eclipse. So these are once every 6-year kind of events called mutual satellite events. And here we see 2 moons crossing in front of each other in occultation. So these are fascinating to watch with the telescope, especially if you have like an 8-inch telescope and in a nice steady night, use high magnification. You can actually see the diameters of the moons and the difference in brightness and stuff as
And
they
if you're
cross in front of each other.
lazy and don't want to get your own telescope, you can go to our YouTube channel, where we had a wonderful night of both of these kinds of events, and there's a little video, sped up video of the little moons, like they're not that little, but the moons crossing each other and going through this kind of eclipse and occultation. So check out our YouTube channel.
Now, this doesn't happen all the time, does it?
No, it's when we go through the plane of Jupiter's equator, which also is the same as the orbital planes of the moons, and that happens half of every Jupiter's orbit once every 6 years for a few months. And so the next time won't be till, at 2021, something like that. And when that happens, the sun will be sort of in the way, so we won't even see those eclipses very well. So this is a better one. These will last until Jupiter starts getting too low to look at in July. So if you have a telescope, go to our website, take a look at our, we have a planets page and information on the best of these events that are visible from LA. Now if you get up early in the morning, you can look to the south to find Saturn. It's the planet with the big rings around it. Well, no, it doesn't look like that, of course, but if you look to the south, there's only a handful of bright stars, and it's in the constellation Scorpius. This is a recent view of Saturn just a few days ago, taken by a Japanese amateur astronomer. The rings are now tilted 25 degrees, so they totally enclose the planet. In years before this, it didn't. So now it's a beautiful view. We'll see Saturn early in the evening, starting in about July. If you are interested in getting into astronomy or want to learn about telescopes, there's an annual conference called the Riverside Telescope Makers Conference Expo near Big Bear, California. It's actually at Camp Oaks. And this runs Memorial Day weekend, actually a little before Memorial Day. And it's a chance to look through telescopes as big as 36 inches in diameter that the amateurs haul there. Actually, there's a guy with a 70-inch amateur telescope that was supposed to show up, but I think he didn't make it last year. But there's all kinds of talks during the day, and you can see home-built telescopes and just wonderful things. Also, the editors of Astronomy and Sky and Telescope magazine, and a lot of people who read about in astronomy show up at these things.
Will you be there?
I will be there. In fact, I'm giving a talk on architecture history of, development of Griffith Observatory, and my daughter's entering a telescope she's just completed there, a 9-inch telescope she's finished.